finish line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. The time has come. It is time for the very first race of the BackFire Sim Racing season, and it just so happens to be on a track that they have been well diverse and notified to get up to this point. This is Jack Dowel Motorsports 250 at Daytona International Speedway, live here at Daytona Beach, Florida. Hi everyone, I am Christian the Crusader Shriver. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the run down as we get set up for tonight's action here. And before we get to all that, I believe we will have a special guest visit us here in just a moment. But currently, you see all the drivers lined up into their positions, into their runs, ready to go for tonight's main event, tonight's action-packed adventure. This is the Jack Dowel Motorsports 250, of course, here live on PTM Racing TV, presented by, of course, Jack Dowel Motorsports, by Grid Finder, by AJ's Hotspot, Central Illinois Spice Company, SimSpeedShop.com, Splash and Go Graphics, Blackgate Security Agency, Sim Shots, and the ButtKicker, all presented to you live, not just on Facebook, but for tonight. We have also risen amongst the YouTube land. We are streaming on YouTube as well for the first time in a very, very long time. And it is great to finally have that back up and running, to say the least here. And now, ladies and gentlemen, before we get started, let me introduce you, a driver that has been well known on the esports circuit and also a good friend of the sport. This is Nick Oettinger here. And Nick, how are you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Just, enjoying a good Friday night, watching some racing.
Absolutely, man. Now, I got to ask you, we got a few questions that the folks of BackFire brought up to us that they wanted to ask you tonight before we got tonight's action. Would you care to answer a few of them?
Yeah, I'm down for it.
All right, so real quick, question number one they got for you here tonight is what got you into iRacing exactly?
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a lengthy answer here. So when I was born, I had angioplasty. So, it's kind of getting a little deep dive here, but I had to have, angioplasty when I was 3 months old. And, later on, about 13 years later, actually, when I was 13, I had to have open heart surgery. So, obviously being in middle school at the time, I had some downtime to just, being at home for 2 months. And my brother bought me a PS3 at the time, and I got involved into NASCAR 09. And, just having all that downtime kind of got me into racing. And I had a really good buddy of mine named Michael Connie, who's actually a competitor and a good friend of mine. And he was involved in iRacing at the time, so, he kind of got me involved with trying to get me over to iRacing just to have some fun with him. And, we've been racing together for more than 10 years. It's something pretty uncommon to really have, a good friend like Michael.
For sure there. It's always good to have a good story to kind of back up where you want to start with and where you came from, just as all of us probably have a story to tell with iRacing, but yours definitely has got a bit of a more meaning to it, obviously, with what you've dealt with there. So it's great to have you on board for all that, and it's great to see you doing okay after everything that's going on in your life. So, the second question I got for you, man, is how has your life changed since winning that championship?
It's been phenomenal, man. I mean, the notoriety of it is, great. Being able to actually achieve your goals when you start out in the season, because everyone's ultimate goal is to win a championship. And I've been having 9 years of just trying to get to that point, and it was phenomenal. And since winning it, it's been incredible to experience all the support from friends and family, and just even the sport of NASCAR. It's actually went into a deep dive of when I had my championship dinner with William. He alluded to the fact of how interested and interactive the NASCAR guys were that weekend. So I mean, it's been huge. I've had a lot of good relationship and connections evolve since winning at Homestead last year, and I have a lot of cool stuff that's still in the works that I'm ready to announce here hopefully soon.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, we'll be getting to the announcement here in just a little bit. Drivers getting their final practice laps in here and getting set for tonight's main event here. They've gotten through all their duels and all their qualifying and everything they've dealt with, and there's a lot of young drivers out here and a lot of top tier guys. I gotta ask you, man, what any advice for the new drivers you would give that are just getting into iRacing, or someone like me that's just trying to figure out how to work this stuff in as a better sport?
Yeah, I mean there's so many approaches you can have into anything in life, and in racing it pays to set some small goals and set some long-term goals. It's advantageous to just make sure you're in the realm of practicing as much as you can and put yourself into situations that really you can adapt to, because being able to adapt and adaptability is a really high quality for a race car driver. So I mean, you would really, I would advise people just to at least experiment in other cars, trying to learn some different approaches to get into a corner softer, for example, or watching, study what the top guys do, like in any any form of motorsport, like MotoGP, F1, NASCAR. I mean, I would study and just try to replicate it.
For sure, there, man. I mean, that's one thing I think even a lot of us have kind of thought about and kind of done, is that we always kind of find like our comfort zone, kind of somewhere to start with and go after, to get better at as a driver. But I mean, if, like you said a minute ago, the better way to get us to be better drivers is we have to get out of that comfort zone. We have to try different things, and it's hard though to break that old mantra, because if you feel like you're doing good at something, you don't want to break the wave. You want to ride the wave of success, but iRacing and racing in general, it's hard to do that. So I'll ask you this though, with what has been your greatest experience in iRacing, since kind of have some different experiences for you?
Yeah, I mean, the ultimate, like I mentioned earlier, the ultimate goal is winning a championship at this Coke Series level, and the payday was obviously not 100 grand, but that was the greatest experience I've probably had. It probably is very hard to relish, kind of take away from that, but another aspect I've got to meet William, my boss, obviously William Byron, who's actually become a good friend, and actually experiencing the Pro Invitational Series when the COVID pandemic was going down. It was a very cool opportunity for us as Coke Series drivers and just the community itself. Being able to actually sit there, actually sit and chat with William, how he approaches to on track performance as well, but also approaches to outside of racing, like demeanor, mentality, and anything. I mean, it was very insightful, and I had the greatest experience that came along with that as well was being able to work with Chad Knaus and the 24 team at some points to really kind of adapt and give them some I would say preliminary work to what they were looking at for the next week. I had a lot of opportunity to work on their base setups for in iRacing to maybe give William and them some insight to what they have to be approaching for the weekend.
Absolutely, man. I mean, that's kind of the biggest thing I think a lot of folks kind of can forget out there, is that you may feel like you may just have to be a one-man wrecking crew out there or something, or just like a one nation army, but it's like you still have to have some support behind you, something to kind of keep you up and keep you going. And a lot of these drivers know exactly all that as they're about ready to get up on the grid here tonight at Daytona. And this track, honestly, is going to be, as we show the gridding here for the drivers here as we're getting ready to go. This track, honestly, is going to be kind of what you just mentioned a minute ago. There are really a matter of helping hand and teamwork, you know, in order to get to the main goal and the main prize, which is, you know, for you was that championship, and also helping out William Byron and all that, and you know, other great bunch of guys out there that, you know, you work with down the road. So I think we're gonna keep you around here a little longer than you got some time to talk with us here, Mr. Nick.
Yeah, that's fine, man.
All right, man. Well, here you go, ladies and gentlemen. We are set. The pace is set. You saw the drivers on the grading order. I don't think I needed to give any introductions to these guys. The Jack Dowel Motorsports 250 is now upon the drivers. It is now amongst themselves. It is all on the line here. The Jack Dowel Motorsports Grid Finder, AJ's Hotspot, Central Illinois Spice Company, SimSpeedShop.com, Splash and Go Graphics, Blackgate Security Agency, Sim Shots, the ButtKicker, Jack Dowel Motorsports 250 is now here. Daytona International Speedway, get ready, get set. Streaming on Facebook and streaming on YouTube. The time has come for over 40 drivers to make pay here tonight, Nick.
I'm excited to see what these guys got. You know, Daytona's a track where you really have to mind your P's and Q's and make sure you actually give room when you actually crowd on the guys. So it's always about positioning at this track, but it's a long race. These guys got to be mindful of that, and you know, it's a long race to, you know, you don't really want to be the first guy pacing the field, but you just want to be consistent.
For sure there. We're going to talk more about that as the time goes on, but right now we bring him out of turn 4, waiting for the lights to come on. Pace car comes off, the green flag comes out, we are ready to go. It is green flag racing at Daytona. I don't think I need to say anything, man. I think the cars are doing it themselves. Just listen to this.
Don't you love that sound, man?
Oh, man, the roar of that sound, brother. That's what it's all about around here. Just that beautiful, crisp, clean, 750 horsepower beast that is the NASCAR Cup cars here on the iRacing circuit of Daytona International Speedway. And out of the gate early on, Kyle Gardner has the early advantage here, moving his way up there in the 49. The Mountain Dew machine takes the middle road to the end here as he's got that 40 out of Brandon Browning right in his inside, trying to play a little joke on him in the Joker scheme tonight.
Yeah, that outside lane's a little bit more form than that inside lane too, so tend to stay a little bit more tight-knit without even pushing. To at least it's so contingent on the second guy and third guy in line to just stay within the realm of that. You don't really want to, you don't really need to push the guy to push him ahead, and whichever lane is actually formed the best is going to prevail.
Yeah, that's one thing though. I will say that I kind of, when I was moving over from the other NASCAR heat days and moving over to the iRacing circuit, that's what's one thing I really noticed was just how hard it is to really keep these cars online if you try to dare bump trap to push, because in most other sim racing games or arcade games, it's really, they can be a bit of a hassle, a bit of a handful, but when you're going into true simulation, I mean, these are what these legit NASCAR drivers and folks are learning off of and studying to better themselves and get better at on a track, so they don't have to worry about tearing up thousands and thousands of dollars of equipment just to get set up. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, when you're actually matched up in iRacing here, and this is in any different manufacturer as well, but Chevy, I mean, I love Chevy. When you guys match up, it's so easy to push a guy, offset and get him a little bit squirrely, and then it has been in the previous years. I know for the Coke Series, it was, this past, February when we started, it was, had a lot of 40 of the best drivers really just considering to kind of knock each other in front of the others. So it takes a lot of skill. These guys are doing very good here. They're giving each other room and managing that gap in front of them, which is very key early on to a race like this. 100
laps of the distance here tonight to have to work through and have to fight through all the way through. There's a lot of time and ground that comes with this series and comes with this racing. And I think we've all kind of been aware of, we're all kind of figured out, is that here at Daytona and Talladega, there's always just that overwhelming suspicion, that little fear that kind of goes in the back of your mind. It's just, when is someone going to get a little bit impatient, or when might someone try to make a big jump in position and make that run up to the front? And so far, I mean, right now, I know it's early, but these guys look very consistent on how they want to hit it and how they want to run their line in. Granted, J.R. Miller in that 78 already made a little bit of a jump up to the front as we go on board here with him in his cockpit view. We take a good look at just how he's trying to run this line around here.
Yeah, you got about a 4 or 5 car kind of breakaway, on the bottom lane, and Miller's doing a very good job holding his line. You got Brown and second in the 48, who's actually done a pretty aggressive pushing, from the first couple of laps just to keep him up front, and he's going to want to cool that engine off, and he's doing a good job just keeping that gap behind him.
He is indeed right now. And wait a minute, we got a little bit of problems there. And there we have ourselves the first caution of the night. Something gone. And the 36 comes to a sudden halt here out of turn 1. We've got a problem down here. Just the old Daytona mantra, something's going to happen, and it happens soon, but I know.
Yeah, it's Daytona for you. When it washes, it washes pretty quick from the top side. It's hard to see wrecks folding.
For sure there. Here is a PTM Instant Replay in all of its glory, folks. Take a look here down on the bottom left corner of your screen here. You see that 36 there in the orange Mountain Dew machine. They get a little bit loose. Looks like there's trouble there for the 8, and Kyle the Speed Demon ends up kind of just getting into the wall, scraped it a little bit, but the front end does take some damage, and unfortunately cost him all his momentum and time, and that ends up slowing him down completely here.
Yeah, with that big spoiler, it's kind of what I alluded to. It's so hard to get see what's happening 5 cars ahead, even 1 car ahead of the guy ahead of him. So it's a fortunate incident right there. You got the guy checking up, and unfortunately 36 didn't have a quick enough time to slow down.
He definitely did indeed, but there is one thing we know around here is that if you crashed early, that means you got plenty of time to make up for it later if you're given.
I think the biggest factor is going to be pit strategy tonight, making sure that we play it smart, so we have enough at the end. I think that's going to play a big part in tonight's strategy.
For sure there. Nick, you got anything to say about him there tonight?
How many friends you got out there, man?
Probably not as many as I would like, but that's hopefully we'll build that this season. I want to thank you for coming on tonight, Nick. It's good to have you, and hopefully we'll build some fans as we race.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. It's been a good start here for you guys. You guys look to be minding the P's and Q's and keeping a good distance between each other, and that's a good start for you guys. And also just some advice is. It's very early in this race. Build those relationships, build those friendships through this race. Make sure they push you to that win.
Yeah, that is a good point there. And we got a good group of guys here, all race respectful, clean and hard. So hopefully we put on a good show for you guys tonight.
For sure there. Christopher Double L Lawrence taking time to talk with us here from Rebel Racing. Good luck down there, buddy.
Thank you, guys.
All right, so I think we still got a few more drivers we're going to hit up here real quick before we head back to Green Flag Racing here. See, maybe there's somebody down the lower half of the pack. The producers right now are always working hard on trying to figure out who to bring in and who to go and talk to, but they never tell me who until it's time comes, so. We do have here right now from Finn Robinson Motorsports, of course, the main man himself. Finn Robinson, the 28, now tunes on in. Finn, you got the copy, sir?
Yes, sir, I got you.
All the way from across the pond, Finn Robinson now tunes in with us. And Finn, I know it's early, but looks like the confidence level definitely boosted in pretty well for you tonight.
Yeah, just looking to start a juggle on these opening laps. Philosophy was where we were starting was to try and stay in front of the wrecks. We were almost caught up in that one. Big check up on the inside and almost ended mine on my teammates' race pretty early on. But thankfully not. So again, just trying to stay out of trouble on these opening laps and make our way slowly up to the front and avoid the big one.
For sure there. Hey, Nick, you got anything to say for him tonight?
Yeah, so how much do you like super speedway racing? Is it low on a totem pole, or is it something that you actually enjoy?
Oh, it's probably the top of the totem pole for me because everybody's competitive. There's not that slow guy at the back of the pack. He's not slow anymore. We're all, especially with fixed setups, we're all on a level playing field. So you have to concentrate pretty hard, and that's what makes it fun. Anything can happen. The guy that's usually 2 laps down can be winning the race.
For sure there. You got anything else, Nick? I didn't mean to cut you off there.
That's pretty good. They're getting ready to go back green here, so good luck there, Finn. Look forward to see what you guys can do as a team and see what you can do tonight.
I appreciate you coming out. It's a big thing. Thanks again.
All right, Finn Robinson, the 28, right now looking to try to work with the team and work with the field here. And just heads up, guys, I know there was a little error on our end. Don't worry, we'll get that fixed up. But right now, we're back ready to go. Green flag racing. We're underway once more.
I like that mentality he has, though. You know, it's a good approach. You know, like you mentioned, you know, you got all these guys who are on top of each other, and you can always learn something when, you know, you got 40 guys just so close to each other.
Speaking of close to each other right now, Christopher Double L Lawrence out of the gate, man. He just giving a big push to his teammate Brandon Browning there in that Joker number 48 Chevrolet, man, on the run and on the nose here. He pushes him way into the position and now takes the race lead. Brandon Browning is now the new leader of the group here.
I think that 48 is going to be good, pretty good all night. I mean, he was able to time his pushes pretty good to get the, you know, JR Miller out front, and you know, he's leading right now, so we'll see what he can do.
For sure there. I mean, right now so far it's looking pretty clean, looking pretty solid out there, and he's holding up pretty well against some of the top tier drivers here at the BackFire Sim Racing Series. Right behind him, of course, you got Chris Hupka in that 5 kind of moving his way in. And James Jones right now, a hard charger, as we like to call him around here, up 12 spots now, back from the pack. He's started from 16th. He's up in 4th.
And I'm kind of surprised some of these guys ain't really jumping outside to. It's pretty fun to run a 2x2 here, and you know it's pretty easy to. So I know it's very early. You guys, it looks like we have, you know, a pretty good gap from, you know, first pack to the second gap, and no, I know it's only around lap 10 here, but you know, strategize, you know, early on, even at this point for, you know, that last time you really pit with, and who you really want to, you know, at least cycle out to where, you know, screw them up a little bit.
For sure there, and right now currently Browning up in that spot. It looked like a little bit of a jump there. I'm not sure if that was James Santoyo in that 79. It was. Santoyo looked like he might have thought about taking to the old 3 wide salute there on the outside like you were just talking about a minute there, Nick, but it looks like he decided to back off there.
Yeah, I'm also kind of interested to see what these, you know, team cars actually do. I kind of see one on the outside of the green car here against 27. And I don't see any of his teammates actually up there with him.
No, Brandon Mascala right now currently on his own, but he's getting a little bit of a hand there for Clifford Corvier right now. A little bit of a help there coming out of turn 4, trying to move the SkyTech Gaming 57 ahead. Puts it right in the front bumper, almost into the rear there. And remember what we were talking about earlier about the whole pushing around here. You don't necessarily have to, but still, it's one of those old mentalities. It's just so difficult not to want to go and try to push someone up and get a little bit more of a run into momentum in here when you can.
Yeah, for sure. You really want to match up to that bumper so soft. I mean, you really want to be able to, you know, stay up and attach to that bumper because that's obviously more speed, it's less drag on the car, and you know, it's pretty much, you know, 1400 horsepower is a lot better than 700.
For sure there, and right now currently still top 10 battling in pretty hard. You got a lot of guys that are starting from 14, 11, 13 spots back up, and they're moving their way up into the chains, and currently it's pretty much the top 10 show at this point because they're the ones that are ahead of the whole field. The rest of the guys, Nick, I got to ask you, were the rest of the guys back there, are they just trying to, you know, save up fuel and save up tires back there and staying away from the lead pack, or what are they doing down there?
I mean, if they wanted to save fuel, I would be a little bit closer, at least to that lead pack, to at least get it, you know, pretty much you know, anywhere you're about 2 seconds, you know, that puts maybe 20 car lengths. I would really at least stay that far of a distance off to save fuel. But if they feel more comfortable, it's more of just a, you know, comfort feeling at this stage of the race. It's only lap 13 of 100, and again, you're setting up for, you know, that last pit stop. Whether you want to undercut, you know, a lot of guys and pit with 3 or 4 teammates, or you just want to kind of go long and pit as late as you can.
For sure there, and right now Zach Woods there in the 60 had it taken to a 3 wide salute there with Colin Speed, Demon Speeds, and that 13 of Chris Papa there. You saw on the scoreboard there they were able to hold him well and keep the lines in play here. Right now as they go into turn 2 here on the front pack here, almost another 3 wide salute initiated between the drivers. They managed to hold it out there and keep it clear of trouble. Brandon Mascarella was up near that wall protection, manages to keep it out of there, but I mean, there's one thing I'll say that's completely different to these cars to, you know, say like an ARCA car is at least when you get into that wall protection, it's not like super glue when you just can't get off that thing. You have room to get out of there. It's just hard to really do so.
Yeah, for sure. And these guys are going, you know, 200 miles an hour too, so it's, you know, it's not an easy feat to get it off the wall, obviously to that point, but, you know, it's a lot easier, like you mentioned, compared to that ARCA car. But, you know, you see like a couple different packs forming. I'm kind of surprised with this. You got like 3 or 4 or 5 different kind of packs forming. So kind of
For sure there. And right now, like I said, you got 2 different, like you said, we got 3 or 4 packs out there, and currently some 3 wide slits here coming down the back straightaway. I'm not sure if I would take it that far that quickly, but it looks like the 11 of TJ Roberts thinking otherwise here as we go on board here. We just see how hard he's trying to run him in early and trying to run him in, but currently it's about 16 laps in at the moment, 15 laps in I should say at the moment, with about, well, we got 85 laps. I never learned how to count around here.
a lot of these guys, if you actually watch closely, you'll see, the car unsettling a pretty good bit on entry, and some drivers kind of compensate a little early or too late in that situation where, especially when you're behind somebody and that's big spoiler, it's very hard to get entry, corner entry mark. So even at a track this big, and when you're up on somebody's bumper, I mean you're really relying on that guy in front of you to actually basically be your entry point. So a lot of these guys are kind of getting unsettling on those landing points and kind of washing up a little bit off their line.
If you had to say anything about, with the iRacing stuff and all that goes for the big spoilers to, compare to real NASCAR, obviously, is there really, with the legacy cars that they have for the Cup Series on the sim, really different and varying because of the spoiler, or is it really just set up completely from how these, these more futuristic Cup of Tomorrow, I think Car Tomorrow, right? The spoilers back there?
I mean, you said it. It is a little bit of, there is a difference. The variations between those cars are different. You have, the car tomorrow, I mean, right now has an unrestricted plate on it, so you're kind of going like 240 miles an hour. And, that was 2009 when that car was there. So I was fortunate enough to race in 2012 with that car. It was nowhere near as fast as what it was on, iRacing right now. And even then, we weren't on, the updated tire model that they currently have now. So, you had a lot of different approaches back then. Just it's something completely different now.
For sure there. And right now, currently, the way things are playing in, the way the field's driving on by at the moment, we got some Canadians in the house, and obviously our UK drivers, but Tyler Hallahan right now in the 88 trying to move some chains on the back stretch. And that second pack you see right here, I believe that's about 15 to 28, 29th maybe of the drivers that are currently dealing with the runs here from their perspective and how they're kind of handling it. And Chris Arado, the lead charger there in that 66. I've seen him quite a bit on the show here before, and he's one of those cats out there you just got to keep your eye on no matter where you go, because it just seems like, there's always just like one driver you can see out here that always is going to put up a fight, put it on a show. I think you're one of those guys too when you go out on that track and with broadcasters have to go out there and try and commentate for you there, right?
I appreciate that. My goal every time is not, it's whether it's pretty or not, it's just go out there and win. That's what I get paid to do with Will and Byron, and I want to be reminded of being second. I know it's a cliche, but as the first loser, I want to get paid. I get paid to win the races. That's what I want to do. That's what I expect myself to do, and I'm at the top level for a reason. I love racing against the best, and they bring out the best in me.
What's that old saying around here? You ain't first, you're last. I think some famous guy said that. I don't know what he was thinking, but yeah.
I'm surprised the 38 went up top. He must be getting a little hot right there.
Yeah.
I'm surprised with that.
Yeah, right now, currently, the way the field's working in right now, Dylan, the closer, Hervad, and that Smithfield 38, as you mentioned just a minute ago, I think he's kind of a hard cat to figure out, to be honest with you. Sometimes I've seen him run like nobody else can, but just unfortunately catch a bad break. And then I've just seen him where I feel like he just overdrives himself. He just overdoes it, and he doesn't even realize what's going down out there until it's already too late. I mean, you ever had those kind of nights where you never, no matter what you did, you felt like you're fast, but it just never was enough to get anything going there on those tracks?
Oh yeah, my early years in iRacing. Had a lot of lessons to learn at that point. A lot of lessons learned that part.
I mean, I think we all had to at some point. I'm more of a dirt track driver, so I can tell you much. I'm not anywhere near fast as some of the folks I've dealt with, and even then, when I can't catch with them, somehow they find a way to outdo me when the track breaks down. But with these Asphalt Series cars, I mean, it's a completely different animal by a long shot. But the good news is they at least don't have to worry about what they see in front of them breaking down. They more or less just got to worry about how hard they're running those tires and how they're tearing that car up, wouldn't they?
Yeah, for sure. And kind of interested with that other pack when we're watching a 38 and 66. It's not as uniform as the lead group for sure, and I think it's showing a lot. Even with the handling that some of these guys have, it's, you know, they're not working as good together, and you know, I don't know the plan they have. And now, speak of it, now they're finally single file here. We'll see what they'll do now. There's a little interest in that happened now.
For sure, I mean, well, that's one big thing that I've kind of noticed myself too is, you know, these guys kind of told me before, whoa, Gristar Auto, they're out of turn 2, almost looking for a ride there from her, bad. Managed to stay out of trouble and keep it clear. Wait a minute, caution, Gus, come out though. We got problems down there. Zach Woods in the 60 comes to a complete spun and haul here on turn 2, and the motor looks like it might have just taken a little bit of too much damage down there, Nick.
Oh, that's not a fun night when you blow an engine at Daytona.
Well,
I guess, you know, virtually can at least get out of Daytona as quick as you can. Not wasting, you know, putting around for, you know, 80 laps.
For sure there, and
That thing's hurt.
I'm about to say, you can see that car, man. That thing's not doing okay at all. It is completely destroyed and taken out. We got to go to the PTM Instant Replay to find out more about that. But, I mean, that whole rear side looked like he was trying to drive a monster truck out there, and he broke the rear steering of that thing there, man. Something went completely wrong on his end here. Let's take a look, see if we can get an idea what happened.
That car is, that ain't coming back to Daytona.
No, it ain't coming back at all, and unfortunately, I'm getting word from the producers we don't have the PTM Instant Replay up, unfortunately, so that is a darn shame. Usually we have that always working, but apparently the producers are getting a little lazy out there tonight. I'd never like that. I think most of the folks here in the chat obviously know how I am with them, but just so you know, I have a little bit of a grudge with them because they sometimes will mess up on things, and I'll call them out on it. So if you hear me, it's just me giving them a little bit of crap, but you know, that's how racing goes sometimes, right?
Yeah, we got, you know, kind of interested to see what some guys do here, if they actually want to fill it all the way up, or, you know, logically I would fill it all the way up here, and regardless, so it's such a short stop for this next pit stop, but still looks to be another 2-stop race still, and see what these guys do. I mean, they have 23 laps under their belts to at least feel what the car is feeling like, see what kind of adjustments they want to put in there, and you know, these guys got a little bit of time to at least understand how they need to approach those corners behind somebody.
Definitely do indeed. And speaking of time, I think we'll bring in one guy that you were having a little bit of a word about earlier on. That being, of course, Dylan, the closer, Hervad. And now, Dylan, you got the copy, buddy.
I got you.
Hey, man, coming out of pit road, we were actually discussing with you here out of the chat here about you and Otto there going into that kind of single file start in that area and not really getting any momentum going. What was going down there on your end, bud?
Well, see, I was getting really hot with the temps, and I really don't want to risk blowing up that engine. So, you know, I was trying to get to his bumper and push, see if we couldn't possibly tandem draft up to that lead pack. I didn't think we would be able to, but my spotter was telling me that we were gaining a little bit of time, so I was going to try to keep with it, and then the temps just kept getting too high, and I wasn't able to talk with Chris there about trying to give me a little bit of room, give me some air, and maybe I can continue to do that. But all in all, I mean, we'll just keep going at it. Started dead last on the field, and I think we've made up some great spots, so hopefully we can end this thing in victory lane.
I mean, there's one thing you've known for is how to find a way to get a charge from the back to the outhouse to the White House. So that's one thing I know with you too often around here.
Yeah, we've done it before. We can do it again.
Nick, you got anything for him tonight, man?
Look pretty good out there. Look pretty aggressive, trying to at least form some runs, and you know, I like the aggressiveness, trying to get, you know, that second pack up to that lead pack, and you know, it's always a cat and mouse game to, you know, manage these temperatures. It's something I had to do in a coach series this year, and you get hot really quick. I mean, especially when you tandem, and then it's always a battle just to cool them off. So I'm kind of excited to see what you guys try to do as far as forming runs and switching, and who's going to be the lead car doing that. And you know, it's lap 24, 25.
We actually made good time here with these pit stops here, because I told my spotter to throw 2 tires on it and give me top me off here, because we came in on that last caution actually and topped off. So that gave us a little less time on pit road here, and we actually gained 11 spots on pit road, so we're in the top 10.
Yeah, that's good, especially for, you know, 2-tire pit stops. I mean, these tires really don't wear that much here. It's just more about heat sensitive, and you know, kind of have fun with those 2 tires. Hopefully you go long so I can see some wheel action right there.
Heck yeah, we'll hopefully put on a good show for you and try to get up to the lead here.
All right. Well,
Uh,
thank you, Dylan, for tuning on in here. But Nick, you got one more thing for him, man?
No, I think I expect to see that 38 P1 in
Yeah.
a lap and a half. That's what I want to see now.
We'll get this number 38 Smithfield Ford up there.
You guys heard loud and clear on the show. Dylan Rabatin looks to try to throw ahead into another huge run and a half here and possibly do what he did. We're referring to there, another race he had done a while back. We were down with the flyby series at Talladega. I think he was starting 18th or so. And all of a sudden, if you can go back and watch the stream, I lost my voice when I saw this. He just somehow found a way to run his line all the way through, managed to get the draft, and then somehow pull a Dale Earnhardt Sr. moment and just completely bypass the field and get into that lead spot on the last coming laps and took home the win. And that was probably one of the craziest things I think I've seen here on the show in quite some time.
Well, let's see if we can do it again. Here's Daytona. Anything can happen. You have a guy 30th place, win a race. You don't know what's going to happen.
You never know what happens, indeed. You never know what happens here on the show. And that's why you always got to tune in to PTM Racing TV, whether you're on our Facebook or on our YouTube for the night. We're going green flag racing back underway. Still not even halfway through this one and only about a fourth through. And currently, right now, still the leaders are in a hot pursuit for this one, trying to work their way on into a strong finish and a strong run. But again, it is early, and we got, whoa, wait a minute, turn 1, 2. We got huge trouble there, big problems, pile up out of turn 2. And just as I start to talk, I had to open my big fat mouth and give them the broadcaster curse.
That's going to knock some cars out.
Yeah, that might have just knocked a few of them out. Oh, man.
Be interested to see what happened. I seen some guy, I think he got hit in the right rear a little bit. That forced him up. I don't know what that was about yet.
I think we'll have a good look here in a minute. Let's head to the PTM Instant Replay. Thankfully, we know for sure we got most of that because that's where the big one came from. So, take a look at it from another angle here and see what we got here on the show. See right here. Let's see, where did everything start at? Whoa. Well, that's way back there. We couldn't quite catch all of it there, what happened. So, we'll have to try another angle here. It looks like we couldn't quite get a full view of it. Unfortunately, sometimes these things are a little hard to find at times. Gotta be careful about how you hit these markers around here, unfortunately.
I think that was the 00 that almost got through it in the grass and kind of got blocked in. Had some right front damage.
Yeah, we're trying to get a look at what happened. Yeah, the 00 comes in. Oh, you're right there, man. Like you just said, he did get some damage there after opening up his own lawn care service, but unfortunately, the big one came at a wrong time, and I'm almost suspecting that the 13 had something to kind of do with it in there, plus Papa there, but it's hard to say where exactly everything went there because there's so many angles you have to really find and try to catch them on. Now I think we got it here. It looks like we do have what the whole reason was to start it. See if it comes right here. There it is right there. The 57 goes down just a little bit, tags the 13, the 8 gets clambered, and then the whole field just, well, good chunk of that field, about 1/4 of them just takes the ride.
Yeah. That's just a miscommunication. Yeah, that just wasn't checking that left side mirror. That happens sometimes in the closing rate like that at Daytona.
It does
That's
indeed.
unfortunate.
Yeah. I mean, the good news is they don't look like a usual iRacing official lobby when I'm trying to run a Carboneer Cup series, but granted, that's just me anyway.
That ruined a lot of virtual race cars right there, though.
That definitely did, man. That took out a lot of guys, and that's a tough break, tough shame. A lot of them really were showing after that for this win here. This meant a lot to them. A lot of hype going in, a lot of fans, wanting to see some strong racing here for the Jack Dowel Motorsports 250, and to go out like that, man, that's not right at all.
Well, we're almost a third of the way done here, and we had a couple cautions here lately, but that 48 out front, Browning's been, kind of, I want to say dominating the race, but controlling it to, a good effect to, again, pit stops. If we get some green flag pit stops, it'll be interesting to see what these guys actually do as far as getting on the pit road and any mistakes and stuff like that. So, it's always a chess game at this track. Who's going to be your friend, for most of the day, but who's going to be your friend that last lap?
For sure there. You think maybe it's time we get old Brandon Browning in here and have a little word from him?
Yeah, bring that green and purple machine in here.
Yeah, why not? We got him in here right now. So, Brandon, you got a copy there, bud?
Yes, sir. I got a copy, boys.
Hey, man, right now, currently still in the race lead after quite a few laps and quite a few hiccups here and there, staying out of the trouble zone. How's the car feeling been there?
The car feels fast, man. I've just tried to keep a teammate behind me. Got the 2 of the next 3 behind me are teammates, so we're just trying to stay up front and stay clean, put on a show for you guys.
Sure there. Nick, I think you got a lot more to ask him than I do, man. What do you got for him tonight?
So, you know, being out front here, which one's happening more? That rearview mirror you watching, or are you just looking out in that windshield? Which one looks like a prettier view?
Right now, prettier views out front, but come late in the race when there's somebody not a teammate behind me, it's, you know how it is. You got to watch out back and make sure they're hitting you square and make sure you're nailing your marks.
Yeah, that's one thing we were talking about earlier. You know, this package, you know, this year you got a lot more movement on those rear bumpers and front bumpers, so you really got to mind your, you know, wheel inputs, and you know, you've been doing a good job tonight. And, you know,
Hey, I appreciate that, man. Big fan of watching you guys every week. So I saw the announcement in Discord that you'd be up here, and I was like, hey, we got to bring our A game, give him a show to watch this time.
I've been enjoying it.
Hey,
You
I
guys been
appreciate
doing
that,
some
guys.
good gaps, and you know, racing pretty good at Daytona. So keep it up.
Hey, I appreciate that, fellas.
Brandon Browning there in the 48, taking time to chit-chat with us here right now as he gets ready to settle back into the car and get things fixed on in for this restart here for the Jack Dowel Motorsports 250. Of course, live here at Daytona Beach, and obviously this track full of history and full of great times and all that, but I mean, I don't think a long time ago that we ever thought that we would go from the sand pits down in the beach to actually being on a track as big as this, but hey, it has happened here, Nick.
Right? You go back many decades to see, you know, that beach action, but you know, this track is phenomenal. You know, season opener race for NASCAR and, you know, Coca-Cola Series, and that's the biggest race for us, man. It's one we always love, you know, trying to win, and for these guys, I expect the same thing. It's the biggest, you know, kind of achievement you can have in a season, and you know, there's still many cars left. I mean, look at all these guys out here. There's still many to go out here and battle for this win.
Yeah, it looks like we've still got about almost the whole field still in with us here at the moment. Looks like nearly about 35, 40 drivers still here with us at the moment, so it's good to see them be able to get their cars fixed up a little bit and get back out there, especially after what you saw on the show there. A huge wreck in between, but man, I mean, I'm thinking right now they probably have at least one instant repair in there, but if they use that up, then it's kind of game over. That seems to be the kind of a threat around here with the plate tracks.
Yeah, I was doing a car anomaly event, you know, this past, I think, Wednesday, and you know, had a preliminary night where we had the same thing. I mean, we're going 240 miles an hour in the old 2009 Cup car. It basically drives like an intermediate car instead of a super speedway car where you're flat out. So, you know, you kind of got 5 corners there instead of just these, you know, 4 corners. And, you know, the landscape, you know, it's going to be, I'm interested to see what this landscape's going to be for these guys. You know, with that reset, they can actually just calm down and just kind of ride to get to this next green flag pit stop, or if we're going to see green flag pit stops tonight.
For sure there. I'm gonna say this though. If what you're mentioning is about a 5-turn ordeal, what would happen if I put a 1987 out here? Would that be a 8 or 9-turn deal? Because those things are impossible to control on this track.
Those things are fun though.
Oh, they're fun. They're just insane.
Make some memories, man.
They're insane, man. I tried driving them like 2 or 3 people on the track, and I barely could hold on my line to save my life. I was like, oh my god, how do these guys drive these things in this track? Like, I've got more.
Be white knuckled and like elbow right on the wheel trying to turn left, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, definitely there. All right, we're getting back to the action here. Green flag flies out. We're back underway, and Brandon Browning yet again will get the start on that line while the field starts to try to make pace and take with him. That 5 of Chris Hupka there. You know, he is a teammate of Brandon Browning in that SimSpeedShop.com machine. He might have something coming for him later if he can get up to him, but he's got a lot of guys right behind him still that are kind of leeway their way in here, including the closer, Hervaden, and Kyle, the speed demon Speed's back there.
Yeah, that's the hardest part, is making sure you're managing, you know, your friends out there. And, you know, you always do your best to try to work to get to your friends, but, you know, what those, you know, you really don't really give to, you know, futuristic self, like, oh, I'm gonna work with that guy. Lap by lap it changes constantly, so it's very hard to very hard to actually manage weight. At the end of the day, I always get asked this question, like, what's the secret to speedway racing? Like, it's always just worrying about positioning yourself. Do what you can to it's always an uphill battle. You can be in 30th, have 10 friends back behind you, but those friends are going to want to go finish ahead of you at the end of the day. So it's always an uphill battle.
It definitely is, Aaron. Unfortunately, with the way this track is and the way it sets up for these runs here, of course, most people think, well, if you got a good run, you got a good momentum boost. Generally, well, okay, why don't you just go try to make more room, try to go somewhere a little higher up or a little lower if you can. But the problem is with Daytona compared to Talladega, like we said before, is just you can take it 3 wide here and you can all that, but that's kind of a huge risk you play into yourself if you're not truly understanding where each driver is and where their mentality is, because any little alarm move here on this track with that 3-1 speed, and all of a sudden you literally are going to get into the corner somebody and it sends you for a ride, and that's pretty much the end of your night, isn't it?
Yeah, and you also got to think and be mindful of how these cars build through. Some of these cars might build harder than some of the faster cars, where they're actually built a little bit more neutral or freer into corner entry. So it's always an uphill battle to see what kind of package these guys bring. And for any plate racer, it's something you always want the fastest speed, but if you're going to be 3 wide, you want to make sure you actually have some front turn.
Well, so far their package seems to be holding up okay and seems to be clamming in just fine here. But at the moment, you see a little bit of movement there from Kyle Gardner there, that 49 Mountain Dew machine. He's starting to pace himself in a little bit more and trying to get himself a fighting chance here. But it just seems like he just doesn't have any help or any run to get around the guys like, TJ Roberts at 11 right now currently, who is fighting it out there with JR Miller right beside him there as you go on board here with old TJ.
Yeah, these guys are also dealing with a lot of side draft effects too, where in our racing years past it wasn't as profound as it is now. So that's one thing I utilized a lot in the coach series this past February, of utilizing side draft and pulling the car beside me at least back to that's what I did on the outside lane for the last 25 laps of our coach race. It was kind of a never-ending battle to side draft them and pull them back, and it didn't really go nowhere. But you're always trying to push yourself forward. And it's something very intriguing watching these guys, see if they actually realize how efficient that is.
For sure there. Well, I'll tell you one thing though, I want to talk about going nowhere. Santoyo, man, he about went out of nowhere and into everywhere. But he managed to keep his car online, keep it out of trouble there when he was coming down that front straightaway. I'm not sure if he got a little tag there or a bump, but you saw there on the screen, folks, he just went straight down to the left and all of a sudden just opened up his own lawn care service and managed to get out of there. But that could have been very ugly if there was a pack of cars right behind him there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if someone just... that's a light part of the corner, too, coming out of that triangle. And there's a hump and dip right there. It'd be upsetting if you can't see the car ahead of you and you got someone behind you kind of loosening you up on the exit, depending on how you modulate the throttle. So, and one thing I've been noticing is Lawrence in the 9's actually been pretty aggressive with his pushes on the back straight. And obviously we addressed this a little bit. So did the 38. He's pretty much managing his temperature, and right now it looks like he's doing a good job. Be interested to see how interested it is later whenever other cars are actually pushing us tight as he is, and see if we can actually make it in the ground in a different lane.
For sure there. Right now, currently, with the way things are, kind of play it in here for, the Christopher L. Lawrence, we know him as on the show. It's been, I would have to say, if anything, he really has been kind of more of that guy that just seems like he's a good help and a good push, but when it comes to those final laps, like, he's kind of a sleeper. He kind of likes to hang around and kind of lay back until it's finally time to come. But I said the same thing about Brandon Browning the first time we ever saw him, because it's just, I watched him come from, I think it was 20th, and there was only about 50 laps to go. All of a sudden, then he started to actually put some momentum into that car, and then it seemed like that's when he started to make the change and make the push. And I think it's just one of those things, maybe you can explain it better, but is it just one of those tire-saving fuel strategy places you have in mind when you're trying to run that kind of a line in?
No, it's for a track like this, it's more contingent on, you don't really need to save tires here. It's you're not traveling 50 miles an hour into the corner, heating the tires up, and it's more just keeping the car under you and staying in control at all times. I mean, you're pretty much managing the gap in front of you and then managing the gap behind you. When it comes to you know, you just seen it right there with the 38. He got to his right rear quarter on the, I think, the green car ahead of him, and it's a little tight gap right there, but he, you know, offset a little bit too much and pushed to his right rear. So it's always just managing and timing your runs rate and kind of learning throughout that race.
And right now, currently, Dylan Harvaden trying to see if maybe there's a little bit of an outside play, a little outside push. He's kind of on his own tonight, though. He has no teammates to help back him up from the chats here or anywhere from the actual car seats. He's an old wolf out there. He does have a spotter. I was talking with him right now, getting him set up, and as I say that, he ends up getting into the 39 of Gardner, and unfortunately, Gardner goes for the right, and Hupka spins it into the grass.
Oh, yep. Offset to his right rear again. I think it's second corner in a row.
Yellow flag comes out there, and unfortunately, a huge problem there for Gardner and Hupka, unfortunately involved in that, and you know, we're going to have to go to the onboard, we're going to have to go to the replay here and see what happened. I think we might have to hit the onboard camera on that one, because from our angle, I could tell what happened. It was definitely Harvaden pushing up a little bit, and all that was just a little push is all it took to, you know, get him kind of twinning around here, kind of getting pushed by a bit. Here's the onboard camera view of Gardner. Just take a close look and you see how hard Harvaden's going to get him on the back straightaway. See right in that corner, gets right into the corner of him, and unfortunately that rear end gets bumped a little bit and sends Hupka for a ride. And man, Chris Hupka looked like he was really fighting it hard and really running in well, and then all of a sudden, just that little bobble, that little error, and then all of a sudden, bam, your momentum is completely gone, and that's just absolutely got to see so many levels for him there.
I mean, you kind of saw the same approach to, you know, realistically on the Coke Series race, the Cup Series, you know, race with the 20 car of Christopher Bell and matching up to the 10 car of Almirola. He got to his right rear and it just got him all out of shape and pushed him to the wall. It's exactly the same thing that happened here. And you know, there's a little bit of a, you know, aggressive approach, and it's very hard managing that run when that happens. You always have, you know, when you offset to the right, even in a Cup car, in the real Cup car, that's what happens. You know, I mean, you get into a little air bubble where it actually helps you pull up to the guy ahead of you, and he probably just misjudged it a little bit.
He did indeed, and unfortunately it sets him back in the pack here a little bit, kind of giving him a little bit more of a chance, though, to see if maybe there's a little bit of time to figure that out and figure out how to make sure that mistake doesn't happen again. You talk about guys we've seen on the track here all night long. Another one we haven't really talked to in the back of the pack right now is going to stay out is Ryan Sizemore. I believe he's trying to get his lap back in the moment, but always like trying to give the little guys a little time to talk with here, so always want to bring him in and have a little chat with him. All right.
I got you there.
All right, Ryan, how you doing down there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. How are you?
Well, so far so good here with Sizemore Motorsports, man. How's the car been hanging? Because it seems like the car's been struggling a little bit with the way things have been here on those corners and those turns, especially turn 2, it seems like.
Yeah, I just keep getting caught up in everybody's messes. But, you know, luckily we've been able to fix our issues and get back on the track. Just got our lucky dog position. So we're going to get back on the lead lap. And hopefully, you know, coming up on the halfway mark, we can get a run going and get to the front.
Any advice you can give him there, Nick, to really get to that as well?
That's going to be a question I had, and I was getting ready to add that we're going to approach the halfway mark if his mentality's changed to kind of be up in that lead pack or just kind of still hang back to that second pack, because there's been a lot of, you know, from what we've been seeing, a lot of aggressive pushes in the lead pack and a lot of handling, you know, people actually got to worry about to, you know, keep control of the car. And what's the plan? We're going to go up to that lead, or are we going to stay back?
Yeah, my goal from the beginning was just kind of lay back, but we started off with a super fast car and was just able to really run through the pack and the draft well. I just kept getting caught up. So, yeah, halfway point was my go time. You know, let's get to the front. Let's get the win. You know, there's only one way to the front. It's time to do it now.
Yeah, it's pretty much a one-stop race from here. So, if you stay green, make sure that pit stop's worth it.
Absolutely. I appreciate it.
Thanks again, Ryan Sizemore, for taking time to talk with us here, buddy. All right, so get him situated back out right now. See how the pack is going to look. Looks like we're double fouling up once again here, so looks like we'll be back to green flag racing here in just a minute. Before we do that, though, folks, we got to cut to a quick commercial break. Before we get to the halfway point, do not go anywhere. We'll be right back after this quick commercial message. So, of course, Jack Dowel Motorsports 250 here, presented and sponsored in part by Jack Dowel Motorsports, by Grid Finder, by AJ's Hotspot, by Central Illinois Spice Company, by SimSpeedShop.com, by Splash and Go Graphics, by Blackgate Security Agency, by SimShots, and of course by the ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. And currently, what some of these drivers are missing have been a couple of hoods and a couple of fenders here and there. But so far, it's been a pretty good race here for these guys here right now, Nick.
Yeah, it's been a kind of a pretty simple Daytona race, to be honest. You kind of have some of these runs that form where guys misjudge it, and there's still a lot of racing left. I mean, you still have 50 plus laps left to kind of figure out and get into a comfort zone for that next pit stop, and it's going to be the money stop if it stays green. So kind of excited to see what these guys put forth for us, and it's going to be a tall task, and we've still got a lot of cars. Look at all these cars left.
I think we got over like 30 some odd cars out there. I think like 30, like 32. I got like 35 right now still in the field here, something like that. It's a lot of cars, man. I can't even keep up sometimes with these things.
It's a lot of NASCAR stock cars.
Aha, that's right, my friend. Hey, I will say this: I've been asking for a little bit of help in the booth when we had all these cars out on the track, and I'm glad I got you in the booth. That actually knows what the heck you're talking about these things. I come on here and I swear I just act like I know what I'm talking about, but it seemed to work because fans seem to enjoy it.
Hey, do a poll, see if they actually enjoy it. we'll make sure they actually enjoy that. Chris Schreiber, little chit chat, commentating.
Generally, I'm usually in the chats in Facebook, or right now, the way we have YouTube streaming for the first time in a long time, we've got that up and running tonight. I'm usually always going into the chat and talking with those guys, having little personal talks and all them, seeing how they feel and who they think's going to win the race. But I've been kind of quiet with them. I think I might have to go back to them a little bit here every now and then, but I think they're just kind of more focused on the race at the moment here. I don't know, they've been kind of quiet. That's the only thing I can tell tonight.
Boogity, boogity. Let's go racing.
Yeah.
Oh, we're about to go racing there, Delbert.
Yeah, we are about to indeed. As soon as you get that pace car off and tell them to bamboos, we get the cars ready and lined up. The green flag flies high, the lights come on, and these boys know what to do next. We're going racing! Well, out of the gate already, James Jones there in the 10 will have the bottom line all to himself. Problem is, J.R. Miller has a huge push and a half there coming from Brandon Browning. Very aggressive push there, in my opinion, out of the gate there for Mr. Browning. He's really hammering on that one. Now back cross down low. Here comes Brandon Browning there yet again. Moves in the inside zone. Looks like he wants a piece of J.R. Miller there on the bottom. Makes his run going in there. Here comes Brandon to his run. He is now taking the race straight away. And he's got a little bit of a hand there from James Jones here, pushing him through in the old 10 Toyota Camry. Having a little bit of help there while you got the closer, Dylan Hervad in the 38 now moving his way up to the front. And a hard charge right on the outside there, Nick.
I like the 48 being aggressive, getting to the lead, trying to control his race. Always want to be on that bottom side. It's a very good.
Oh no!
Friend.
Big problems out of turn 2. We got one car flying up in the air, sent to the moon, and crashed down here. We got huge problems down there. Oh! Oh, you gotta be kidding me, guys. Oh man.
Oh, we're tearing up some virtual cars. Ooh, that's a big wreck.
That is a huge wreck indeed. There, we didn't even have a time to get the timestamps up and things back to normal here, and unfortunately they just get a huge wreck out there. Yikes.
Yeah, so, always, man, it always washes down, these wrecks do. It's it's very hard to slow down and see all that big smoke and that one car flying. It's very hard to see where to position yourself.
Yeah, hard to tell indeed here. We're going to go to the PTM Instant Replay to check this one out a little bit more here and see what happened exactly. I mean, from my end, it looked like that 47 was the one that was the guy that had to go flying high. But where did it all start? That's gonna be the big thing. Oh, right there, actually, we get it on the 47. He gets in with a 98 there coming out, almost similar to what we saw just a little while ago. I believe that was with the 60 in the 8. And unfortunately, kind of the same results at turn 2. I guess turn 2 is the killer tonight. That's the turn you gotta watch out for.
Yeah, it's been a trouble spot for these guys. It's oh man, they're gonna have to do a little bit of the landscaping in turns 1 and 2 again.
I think they might have to go visit up either Nathan Auto Parts or Advanced Auto Parts tonight and get some new parts because these things are getting tore up out there. Well, shoot. All right. So, as we're currently trying to see who will be able to survive and who will be able to outlast each other here tonight, this has been a crazy
It's a race
here.
full of attrition right here. That's what it is right now. Hopefully these guys calm it down. See some green flag laps, and there's a lot of cars out here. And it kind of goes to show what kind of handling characteristics these guys are having to deal with. There's probably a lot of wind out here pushing these cars kind of closer and off center a lot. So it's always a tall task when you got wind factors played in.
For sure there, and I think one guy we just now got into the chat here that knows how to handle those wind conditions and handle a car out here. Of course, that being the Speed Demon himself, Kyle Spees. And Spees, we're just gonna let you know, man, we brought you in because you got a little bit of a fan favorite in the comments section going on right now, so we thought you'd bring it in as usual, bud.
I appreciate it. I'm sure it's my mom again, is it not?
No, actually, I think it's her grandma saying she's brought the Sue Bell Nowak coming into the chat.
That's right. Hey, Grandma, appreciate you watching tonight.
Yeah, for sure. They're always great to have you on board, and have a little bit of a special guest. Might have to ask you a few questions here, my friend.
Absolutely.
So, I see a lot of team cars out here. You gonna try to push them to the win, or are you gonna be, making sure they're pushing you to the win tonight?
We'll see how it goes at the end. Big team player, though. If it comes down to it, I'd love to see Lawrence or Browning get this win tonight. We're in another lead together. I do quite a bit of winning in that one, and they do quite a bit of battling with me tonight. I'll return the favor and let them get the win tonight, probably.
I mean, it's been you guys have been doing pretty good up front. Very, very. I mentioned this earlier. You guys have been having, managing your gaps pretty good and making sure you're not kind of putting yourself in the worst spot. So it's a very good positive seeing, and it's not over until that last lap and when that checkered flag falls. So you may find yourself in your lane. I would push for it.
It's in the back of my head. Daytona, big race. Obviously, you know how that goes, man. I wouldn't mind to get the dub tonight. I was actually just at the 500 personally and watched that too, so that'd be even cooler to do it. Like I said, though, man, if it comes push to shove, teammates and good points are worth it at the end of this race, I think.
It's a big race to win, man. That's for sure. Anytime you win at Daytona, it's a special feeling just to be able to call yourself a Daytona winner. And these guys, you got a lot of cars out here to battle with, man. I mean, you got a lot of teammates here too, and you got 50 more laps to get it done.
Yes, sir. Hopefully we get this done tonight.
Good luck, man.
Thank you.
He's got some work to do down there with Rebel Racing. Kyle the Speed Demon Speeds, thanks for time to talk with us here, my friend, as we are getting situated back up and ready to go for the next round of racing here. And Sure, I just want to say real quick as well, man, it's been an honor to have you on board here tonight, man. I know we can't keep you around too much longer and all that, but it's awesome to have you by here and having a good time with you. Hope you can come by somewhere time and have some more talks here, because I've honestly enjoyed this one.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the invite from you guys, and these guys having me to sit here and commentate watching these guys, and they've been doing a good job tonight and making it worth watching. And that's the biggest thing, making it worth watching. Hope you guys keep tuning into these guys, and these guys they're out here for a reason to put on a good show for everyone.
For sure. Then speaking of watching, I think I'll be honest, I haven't really watched too much of the races you guys pull up, but honestly, I think I'm gonna have to change that up and put you guys on the schedule. Granted, I have a hard time catching up with anybody's schedule, but I'll throw you guys into mine. I'll watch some of your stuff. I'm rooting on for you all the way there, buddy.
Well, make sure you watch that 25 point, man. I appreciate that in our Logitech G machine. I love having a partner we do. Logitech G and William Byron Sports are such a tight-knit group. And, I'm excited to have an announcement come, very soon that can change the game for the community of iRacing too. So, very excited.
It should be an awesome announcement to say the least here as the green flag flies back out here, man. I can't wait to hear any of them. I'll be following up on all the social media platforms when we get that chance.
I'm going to go out on a limb before I get out of here and say the 48's winning this race tonight.
Oh, you're going to say the 48's going to win tonight, huh?
He's going to either be in the fence or he's going to win. Do some donuts on this race. We'll find out.
We don't want to put him into the fence like Jeff Gordon did on the virtual Talladega race there. We don't want that to happen now. Well, Nick, again, man, thank you again for tuning on in. It's been an honor and a pleasure, brother. Take it easy out there, and we wish you nothing but the best of luck in your future races, bud.
Say, man, you guys have a very good one, and it's very, very enjoyable to sit here and commentate with you, man. You guys have a very, very successful season, and have a very good night.
For sure, there. Thanks again for tuning on in, bud. Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Odinger from the eSports eNASCAR Coca-Cola Series, taking the time to talk with us here and give you guys a show here. If you guys can in the chat, just say thank you for him and go ahead and follow him up and support him up on his show and on the races he will be in. You'll catch him all live here on the iRacing.com circuit. Nick, thanks again, man. Take it easy out there.
You too.
Oh, man. That was something, an honor and pleasure to be able to call with another fellow driver and someone out there that actually knows what they were talking about out here compared to me. But, again, folks, if you haven't already, just please go ahead and give him some love and show him out on the track. He'll be looking for that 25 there. Of course, William Byron out there always running his tail end off on the real life circuits, these real cars. But Odinger ain't no joke out there. He will take it hard as can be on the real circuit. And it was great to have him on board here tonight. But nevertheless, here, folks, I'm back to my single file commentary. And right now, these drivers aren't single file. They are doing their own thing, doing their own way here, feeling them run down the back straightaway, challenging them on in. All right, so we'll get back down to business here. Still side-by-side racing here, coming down the line, coming down the wire. These guys throwing some haymakers at one another. Trying to set them up for a position here, trying to get themselves a little bit into the line, the area of play. There's Dylan Nicosa Hervad in the 38 Smithfield machine. I'm used to calling him in that 16, but man, he's running it pretty solid in the 38. I think he might have to change that number up around here. Right back on around here, out of turn 3, down into turn 4. The closer trying to build something up while the Christopher L. Lawrence and that red Mountain Dew Code Red machine just currently charging his way up, helping his teammate out, Brandon Browning there in the 48, trying to help out the Joker, playing some jokes on these casts tonight. In our chat tonight, I'm sorry I haven't got with you guys all night. I'm going to go ahead and get with you right now. So we got quite a race to go. Randy Richmond, great to have you on board. John Gardner, Sean Dozier, Acuse Sured, I swear I'm not trying to say your name wrong, man. Ray Owens, Jeff Ralphie Sampson, Sue Bell Nowak, Dennis Whitmer, Rodney Christensen, Delbert Keltman, Sizemore Motorsports, and Stephen Kammerer for joining us on in. Thank you again so much. And speaking of taking away here, it looks like there's a little bit of a shift trade up here in the position. I have my head turned for 1 minute. Next thing I know, Christopher L. Lawrence has taken the race lead away. What? Just all of a sudden, you just expect the unexpected around here, and that's what we're talking about as you go on board here with David Hall right now. Now again, the folks I just mentioned up in the chat here, those are our folks down in the chat there from the Facebook series, but we also are still live up on the YouTube end of things. Well, you can just feel the power and all that momentum there that David Hall has right now currently. You can see the char as well, and how hot that thing is getting. It's amazing the temps haven't gone completely out of shape and out of whack tonight. Still side by side, these drivers take them in their corners and battle them on by. Now, I am getting word right now from our end that it sounds like, unfortunately, we did lose the YouTube side of things here up on our stream. If that is the case, I do apologize in advance to folks that were trying to watch the race up on YouTube. I know there's a lot of folks that were wanting us to do it, but I think, unfortunately, the way things are, the Glitchcraft Rebels will not have it with us no matter what we do. So, unfortunately, I think we're just going to have to stick with only Facebook around here. So, I'm sorry to say for those folks over there, but I can promise you that we will have this race in its entirety from Facebook up onto YouTube after the race. So I can promise you that, and I hope that'll make up for the issues earlier on. Thank you again for tuning in. Hope you like and subscribe over there to catch the action there. Right around out of turn 2. Wait a minute, caution comes out. We've got a problem down there. Angel Santiago looks like he is the one involved in this one here. Oh man, big damage there on that set 90 machine. Huge damage up on the front end. Car is badly damaged, torn apart there. Now we're going to take it to the PTM Instant Replay and find out what happened there to Santiago. And judging by the way that car looks, I'd say, well, it looks like he got into it at turn 2. Yeah, I know Odinger was with us just for a little bit, but I mean, I think even he said flat out, like, that turn 2 seems to be the place where everyone gets hit up about tonight. And it doesn't seem like it's changing tonight, guys. See if we can tell what happened here exactly as they come into their corners here, and it looks like there's already smoke coming out. Drivers are trying to slow down. Chris Hupke gets into it, and the 71, oh man. And the 71 did get a little bit of a spin around there. We couldn't quite tell for sure though, unfortunately on our end. So we're going to have to just kind of call it good with that and call it a night there, unfortunately, as we were getting the drivers ready back up into position here. So now we'll take it down to our calls here and see who is on the line and see who we will have to time talk with us here tonight. Still a lot of guys to mention up and really get going here. There's so many drivers in this series and in this league. A lot of great folks in here, a lot of good people to talk with and chit chat as well. I mean, that's one thing you gotta love about the iRacing community and just everyone that comes through it, is just how well everybody, you know, is respected and how they're all loved. Yeah, you obviously will have your guys in there that can be a little bit of a little trickier. So I've dealt with them on the track before, and I've dealt with them outside. But I mean, at the end of the day, there's so many good folks out there. It's nothing like that. So as we right now work our way back into the field here and get things figured through. Still trying to find ourselves a guy to talk to here. The producers are telling me that we're having some technical difficulty. What else technical difficulty can you guys think of tonight? We already lost YouTube, and last night we had our audio go out for some reason. What else can you think of? You want to try to throw something else at me here, guys? Well, here, hold on a minute. We got somebody from Jack Dowel Motorsports. This is, of course, Matthew Robinson in the 99 here. And Matthew, you got a copy there, my friend?
Yes, sir. You hear me?
Oh, we got you loud and clear here on the show. Hey, how's things been holding up for you, and how you been doing out there tonight?
Well, I'm just I'm trying to keep it clean, trying to stay out of trouble. I think the best strategy is for me. I'm trying to try to stay in the top half of the field. It seems to be the cleaner drivers and less action going on.
I mean, for sure there, but I mean, at the end of the day, of course, this is Daytona, so there's always going to be that aggressive driving and mindset in there when you're out on the track. And I would say, just, well, if you got anything to figure out how to avoid it, what would be your advice to anyone that's getting, you know, just set up for these tracks and run them out here?
Well, probably the main thing is definitely be patient. That's probably the main goal. You know, you got to watch out for people checking up in front of you, and because you can't hold it, just go hold it wide open and everything. But you just got to pay attention to your surroundings, and you know, and you'll find yourself at the end of the race and up in the front.
For sure there. Well, Matthew, we appreciate taking time to talk with us here as you get ready to get back to Green Flag Racing and Amazon Prime 99 Chevrolet. See how it all plays out here, and wish you nothing but the best of luck, brother.
Sure, thank you.
Matthew Robinson, the 99, taking time to talk with us here as we're getting ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here A lot of guys here ready to put up the boots and put up the momentum here. We are getting back to the field of racing here in just a moment, as they will bring him out of the corner here of turn 2. They will set up once again here the Jack Dowel Motorsports 250, still in full swing, still in full connection here. Broadcast live here up on Facebook and will be restreamed up on YouTube in a little while. But again, to the folks in the Facebook chat and those where were watching the YouTube, we do appreciate you guys taking time to talk with us here, as we're about ready to situate this back into the zone here. Looks like we're still staying under green. I think we're gonna, or yellow, I should say. Looks like we're still not quite where we want to be with the drivers and where we want to go. So we'll let them restack, re-rack, and all that. And while I'm at that, might not have a little word here from our boy here at JR Miller. JR, you got a copy there, my friend?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey man, right now, currently, you've been at wars with these guys here tonight. You're really putting up some boots and some fights there with the SHM team here. How's things been for you on your end?
I've been real bad, just trying to hold my own here, try to give everybody plenty of room, and just trying to save it there and see what we got for them at the end.
For sure there, and being a fellow Iowan yourself, how you been able to hold the heat up? Because I know right now we were just got done with our freezing cold, like what was it, negative 30-degree wind chill temperatures?
But you know what, if you're an Iowan, you expect this kind of stuff, so this ain't nothing. I mean, ain't like anything, so.
For sure there. Well, man, it's been great to have you on board here tonight, and great to see a couple of you guys out there that are representing out here for these boys and really trying to put up a show. Well, hopefully everything goes well for you.
All right, Nick, let me give a shout out to Nick up in the booth while you got me on here. How you doing, Nick?
I should have brought you in a little earlier. He actually had to leave about 10 laps ago, my friend.
Oh, too bad. Oh, well. It was a pleasure having him in for a little bit.
For sure there. He will, I bet he'll probably come back and watch a little bit of this, and I think he'll hear that, so I think he'll appreciate that, man.
All right, man. Enjoy the rest of the race.
You too. Good luck out there. Yeah, believe it or not, I really wish we had a way to have Nick still on with us here, folks. But he is a very busy man. The fact he even made time to talk with us here in the first place, full credit where credit's due to him. It's good on him for being able to come out here and work with the community and have a little bit of fun out here. Drivers are now situating themselves through, trying to get re-racked back up into position and see how this one all plays out. Some solid drivers of this one still looking to get their first win of their careers or their first win of their life here as they set up for the green flag. Lights come on, which means it's time to go, go, go. Green flag flies. Right out of the hole shot. James Jones in that 10. Toyota Camry decides to go up a little bit in position. Drives the steady logo and gets momentum playing back in. And then Christopher Double L Lawrence falls behind him here, but Brandon Browning is your race leader. Odinger picked him to win this one here tonight, so we will see if that is going to be the case here. But out of the gate early, well, he also said he might go into the fence. If that's the case, then I guess I owe him a beer for that one. But right now, currently down the back straightaway. A lot of hard runs here from them, and there are a lot of battles all the way through. But at the moment, the 11 of TJ Roberts, that good wrench service number of Chevrolet, right now trying to get some clarity in his zone and clarity in the run. Builds him back him on by here, running them down into the field. James Jones on the middle section, middle ground, high side, brings it down at the 48 of Browning. Browning defends him off though. Oh, the chaos and the madness has only just begun to start here on the show, and these guys right now know all too well about that. They are down to under 40 laps to complete, and time is elapsing and running away from them, and they know it all too well. Run them through, up on out of turn 2 here. Everybody doing what they can to try to stick with the line, stick with the zone here. There hasn't been too many issues or problems out there yet. And it doesn't look like we're going to have any of that anytime soon here. Currently, though, it is JR Miller in that 78 Chevrolet doing what he can to try to hang tough and hang tight in there. While the 48 of Brandon Browning gets challenged up there by James Jones in that 10 Autism Awareness Speaks machine. Out of turn 2, though, it is still anybody's race, anybody's game here. And a big push there from J.R. Miller, starting to situate himself through and give himself a little bit of a time gap and position in. Oh, a little loosey-goosey, though, at turn 3, sends them both wobbling a little bit. Looks like there's some problems there for him and David Hall in the 19 National Guard. Manages to save it and come out clean, but remember what they said earlier, you don't want to be pushing too much around here, especially when you're trying to go for a race lead with this many laps left. Time is elapsing and time is starting to get out of control here, and that push, man, is just absolutely killing these guys out here. I can tell you from seeing it and experiencing it myself, I know what it's like when that car just all of a sudden gets a little too wobbly and out of shape. It sets you up for a lot of a harder run and a lot of more trouble than it's worth sometimes. And just like that, that's what I was talking about a minute ago. The 99 of Matthew Robinson gets cleared into a trouble problems upside down. Those the 18. Oh, man. Turn 3 disaster. Bobby Anderson involved in that one. Gets cleared. Oh, whoa. Are you kidding me, man? The 90 all of a sudden just intervened and interjected in that one. Holy smokes. Well, can you say ouch, ouch, and what was that other word? Oh, yeah, ouch. I have no idea where to start with that one other than just say to the producers, get the PTMS replay up. We got to find out what happened. I know we saw Robinson get entangled in there, and it looked like there might have been contact there between the drivers there coming into that corner. Here is the PTM Instant Replay in all of its glory here. So, looks like Kyle Speed Demon Speed saw an opening, go for it, can't quite get it out of there, and then all of a sudden tags into Matthew Robinson, and then the rest of the field tipsy-turvy, upside down, and I know going upside down those things, it's not fun at all. That's where the 90 came in. He was trying to avoid carnage, instead he just slingshots, long darted, whatever you want to call it, right into the carnage. Oh, man. He takes a lick and a half there, and thankfully the car is okay. Drivers are okay. But I can guarantee the pride has definitely gone a little bit, and there's got to be a little bit of an annoyance in some of them. Man, oh man, oh man. Well, now that really just kind of ships up and messes with the strategy there for some of these guys and really kind of sets them back off a little bit in their zones. Right now we got a few of the guys in the back right now that are currently trying to work their way in, trying to somewhat remedy and try to get this one all cleared out on their end. So we always like to give a little bit of talk here in the back and have a little word for everyone there. So why not? Let's have a word here with Chris Papa. Papa, you got a word with us, my friend?
Sure.
Hey man, I know right now currently it's you've been struggling a little bit to keep that car in line, keeping it in play here with the way the damages have been and the crashes have been, but I gotta imagine right now you're still going out here and trying to enjoy yourself for the first race of the season.
I was taken out twice so far in this race, and I am way under power, so I've got really nothing to offer for this event. I'm probably gonna park it here pretty soon.
Well, that's a darn shame to hear about, man. Really apologize to have to hear all that going down. I mean, I know with Daytona that some of these things will happen like that, but I mean, with all said and done, you got a lot of racing this season to go here. Was there anything you want to say to your friends or family out here before you get ready to finish this one off?
No, I'm just really sick of Daytona. We're doing a bunch of other events and official races. I'm kind of sick of seeing this track, and I'm happy to see something else in the calendar coming up here for any other league or official races or anything else. So.
For sure there. Well, we do appreciate your time talking with us, though, here at least, man. Wishing you the best of luck out there. All right. Well, have another word here with one of our guys here. We got Chris Hupka now on the show here. And Chris, you got a copy, buddy? You kind of coming in and out a little bit there, bud.
Yeah, I've been having mic issues throughout the race.
It still comes out a little bit bad here. We're going to go ahead and bring it back in. We'll try and talk with you in here, okay? I don't know if you guys can hear. It sounded like he was at the bottom of the ocean on my end. What do you guys hear? Well, I thought we'd be able to talk to some drivers out there, and we can try and get one driver in here tonight. We got Noah Owens one more time before we get green flag racing. Noah, you got the copy, buddy? No, the Spears not. We do not have a copy for him here, unfortunately. So I guess we're just gonna have to set them up and let them do their own thing. So, well, nevertheless, ever better known here to be the professional as we can. Here, we're ready to get things fixed on in, and I know Daytona has been kind of the track that a lot of folks have been running out and been dealing with all night and all season long. And of course, iRacing, it's been really no different, no area of play there. But we are ready to fight them on back in and try to somewhat get this race figured in and get it taken care of here. The action is getting ready to heat back up here, up on the show, and ready to field in as they come out of turn 4. They will now have the pace car come off that track and come back into play for these drivers to run their line in and run their field in for a position zone and a chance at victory here. The lights are going down, and now the lights come back on as the pace car gets off the track. It sets up the green flag run. We are back underway here on the front stretch. I swear, there's times I don't even need to talk. I mean, just go out here and listen to this. If that doesn't get your heart pounding a little bit and get you going just a hit more, I don't know what will, because that is just full-on hard racing, hard driving stock cars at their finest and at their beast level of performance. And currently James Jones right now in the race for Autism Toyota Camry has got himself the early lead here. Robin Marcus Jones saying was really wanting to see the number 8 take the checkered. Well, I mean, I will be unfortunate here. Ryan Sizemore is having a little bit of problems out there and currently just can't get that car to get past the gremlins and demons he suffered through earlier on. The darn shame. We had him up on the chat here a little while ago, and you know, he said earlier he can't catch a break with these wrecks coming his way and having at it. That's definitely been noticeable here as they are riding them back on by here out of turn 3, back down into turns of turn 4. James Jones in the 10 Toyota Camry has a bit of a shotgun position coming out of turn 4, makes a big run there off that line because Brandon Browning and Christopher L. Lawrence in the 9 Mountain Dew Code Red machine was playing a little Code Red on them and trying to push his way up into position as your top 10 field it back in. You've got a whole line of drivers though, a lot of hungry combatants there, just waiting for one more big run and a full throttle assault to come their way. You see the double zeros of Chris T. Jones there, moving his chains in, moving them on by, but Gardner is inside. Gardner, you want to talk about a guy that's been kind of involved in some wrecks tonight, having troubles? I think you got to put him on high at the end of the list here if you want to talk about that kind of situation. As they come down out of turn 3 and 4, a little bit of a 3-wide split there between the 27 of Brandon Mascarella, and it looks like the 71 of Jacob Turvander. They kept clear of it and kept them out of trouble, but unfortunately still nowhere to go for some and a lot of other problems for others. Ryan Phillips right now currently in that 43 U.S. Air Force Afterburner is pounding away there and just holding his line in. You can actually hear that car, he's getting off the throttle quite a bit there. The reason why he's doing that is really because he's trying not to burn the car up inside. What you guys can't see on your screen is how hot that car is getting right now, and only the spotters and them can really tell you all about that. But yeah, that was one thing Odinger even mentioned a minute ago, was just how hard it gets stuck in there and how hard it can be. And Brandon Browning there, all of a sudden the change up comes and Big Rock right behind him. Oh no! Oh no! Are you kidding me? Noah Owens gets tagged in that, and if there was ever a time I said the broadcaster curse didn't exist, yeah, it exists. This is why we do not try to, this is why I really have that bad feeling in my heart when we bring folks in here. And unfortunately, Brandon Browning's night might have just come to an end there. He's going to need a Cinderella story to make this wish come back alive. Let's go take a look at the replay here and find out what happened exactly. That is just a darn shame, and in so many levels for these guys. And that's not how you want to see a driver go out, but we got to figure out what happened exactly before we can say anything here. So here is the PTM instant replay. All right there, J.R. Miller just barely tags the yellow line, gets into Browning. Browning manages to save it. And then all of a sudden, J.R. Miller, well, let's just say he kind of drifted up a little bit, couldn't get that car recentered and try to save it, and instead it caused him a little bit more problems than I think even he would have liked to admit. Oh man, what a tough break there for these guys. That's just a darn shame. I hate seeing that happen to anybody. I hate seeing, especially when it comes to a guy that, you know, really was challenging everybody and really was showing what he had in mind and how he wanted to play it out, and then all of a sudden it's just the momentum goes behind him and it's completely gone. And at the end of the day, that's just how it plays out. But now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and take a time to chit-chat with our drivers here. And now back on the call, it's the 27 of Brandon Scala. Scala, man, right now, how's things been for you, and how are you holding up out there?
Not doing too bad. Just trying to avoid the accidents as much as I can and try to at least get a top 5 finish.
For sure there. I mean, what was been kind of the hard part for you here to try to survive through and trying to deal with as you've been playing out here in this race?
Yeah, just trying to avoid the accidents. It's really the main thing. Avoided a couple of them there, but I got into the last 2, and yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Well, we do appreciate your time talking with us here. Of course, working with Finn Robinson Motorsports here on the team chat. Great to have you on board here tonight, man, and hopefully, maybe like you just said, there might be a little bit left in there.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, we can get JDM and FRM all in the top 10.
For sure there. You got some work to do there and some time to make it happen, man, so keep on at it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Brandon Mascala there taking the time to talk with us here as we are ready to bring our drivers back up into position and try to get this somewhat remedied out. So many hard runs and so many battles out here. It's been crazy to say the least here. And one of those guys that's been in quite a bit of them here tonight is Kyle Gardner there in that 49 Mountain Dew Chevrolet. And Kyle, I know it's been a bit of a rough one here for you tonight and a little bit of a crazy one. But so you're still in the hunt though, currently 15th and still with a chance to take over the race slate. What kind of going through your mindset there with, you know, you only got about 25 laps to complete? Looks like some audio issues here for Gardner, unfortunately, so we will not be able to bring him in and talk with him. Seems like we're having all sorts of issues tonight. Last night it was me with it was our end for the Mississippi Dirt Boys. Now tonight, it's all over the place. Let's see if we can get a talk here with Christian Roos here. Roos, you got a copy, bud?
I sure do. How's it going?
Oh, it's going pretty good down there. I mean, we talked to your teammate Chris Popper earlier, and I don't think he was kind of happy about the track and how things were here for. But right now, I mean, I think you got to be a little bit of a happier camper right now because you're up 14 spots and now in the 4th place here. What are you going to do on this restart to really make that car jump up into there?
Hoping to get a good start. Hoping everyone in front of me goes. Hoping everyone behind me doesn't run us over. Feeling good. Made it through that last caution. Made it through a couple others. Just hoping for a clean run here to the end.
For sure there, and obviously with the way things have been playing out, I mean, it's kind of easier said than done to say we want a clean run, but I mean, do you feel like that maybe there's going to be one, do you feel like maybe you have a good chance to kind of keep your nose clean and keep out of trouble with these guys if something does happen?
I think so. I think I do. You know, it is what it is. It's super speedway racing. We're all a part of it right now, but whatever happens, I guess. I think I got a good shot here at the end.
For sure there. Well, Christian, we do appreciate time talk with us here, man. Finish strong, finish hard, and while you're at it, open up a couple bush lights at the end of the race for me, would you? I got to get to bed a little early tonight, so.
Got it. Have a good one, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Christian. Christian Roos there, the number 14, taking time to talk with us here. And for those that do not get the joke, when you talk to an Iowa folk around here, I am from Iowa. We have this reoccurring joke that our favorite beer is the Busch Light. I don't know where that all started, but Busch Light honestly is probably one of the more tasty beers around here that I drink, and it seems to be our beer of choice. But the reoccurring joke is that was also our favorite Halloween candy. So I don't know at all, guys. But just if you're wondering what that reference came from, that's the reference. Anyway, we're not done with this one yet. We still have a long way to go to finish this one out, and only a time will tell how many more laps we'll get on this, as Corey Saucier will have the race lead. 25 laps remain. Saucier out of the gate, out of the whole shot, has his run, while Ryan Phillips in that 43 US Air Force afterburner runs the extreme outside line, getting a little bit of help there for TJ Roberts in the 11, though. Or excuse me, the 14 of Christian Roos, I should say. Pushing them down on the back straightaway, fielding them back into the zone, into their runs here. Now everybody trying to find their area, trying to find their chart, maybe head for a little bit of a chance and a break here. Back on by out of turn 4, a little bit of a run there for Roberts. Robert goes to the outside now, maybe looking for the charge he's been looking for all night long. The full throttle assault is indeed engaged. He moves the chains up. The 24 Saucier has nowhere to go. Yeah, a little smoke coming out of there. The closer himself, Hervad, and he's going to have to be careful about that. I know that's just an internet issue, but he's got to be aware of that. He knows it's happening. They'll bring him back out of turn 2 here. The field in a hot trio mess of runs and a battle of position for many others. They're all looking for the same thing here. They're all looking to try to take their way into position and into the zone. As you field them around here, turn 3, build them back by turn 4. Look at the huge cam right now. Currently, that drone cam looking a lot better than the one they had on NASCAR, ain't it? No, I'm just kidding. We do love that chopper cam, though. That's one cam we like using around here, that's for sure. Phillips, Muscala, TJ Roberts, and Corey Saucier. Your top 4 right now with James Jones, Christian Roos, Jordan Stencil, and Christopher L. Lawrence all on that hunt as well. And talk about this right now, folks. One of the lone Canadians out here tonight, Jordan Stencil. Yeah, the 64 right now is up 24 spots from where he started. He is literally the definition of a hard charger right now. He started in 31st. He's made his way up into 7th. That is insane, to say the least here. Right, marching them around here. You see the closer, Dylan Hervad, now maybe making a jump in position, looking for an area of play. Christian Brewster up on the high side, almost gets a little ride there for Mullins in the 9. Manages to stay clear of it, has to go below the yellow line. Does one of them out there, and it looks like they managed to keep it clear of trouble. That's Dylan the closer, Hervad, and that had to go below the line there. Manages to save it, while the 82 there of Joey Wright right behind him tries to field it in, get himself some runs in there as well. Running them back, I'm on by here, out of turn 4. No room for error around here, that's for sure. These guys absolutely playing into it, playing some serious momentum and pushes around here. They are not giving an inch, not giving anybody a chance to mess up here. But as I say that, I think we might just have one little mess up there. Jordan Stencil gets loose and sends the whole pile up. No, no. Oh no, 28 flips side up, flip down. Oh my goodness, Ben Robinson just got for a ride, and you gotta be kidding me. Oh no. You know, we talked about how much it can change on a dime like that, and all of a sudden, it did indeed. Jordan Stencil there in that 64. Went from being the hard charger to the, well, I don't even know what to call that. It's like that's just a hard loss right there. The front end completely totaled up on that machine there, and it's damaged up really bad here, folks. We're going to go ahead and take another look at it from the replay end here and see what happened. This might be the weirdest replay I think you'll see, but here's the drone cam version of this. see what happened. You can see Stencil, he's just loose as can be. He's trying to save it, but ends up just getting into her van, unfortunately. And then watch this, man. Everybody just goes for a tumble. The tumble, fumble, mumble, and a jumble up run there. And everybody just got hit hard and taken for a ride there. Whoa. That took the drone cam out of that Vin Robinson there. Man, that's just an absolute heartbreaker for these guys. I mean, you gotta be kidding me. Daytona right now is definitely winning when it comes to tearing up tracks and tearing up drivers, unfortunately. That's not the way you want to play it around here at all. Not at all. Time is starting to run out, and these drivers know it. That means desperation maneuvers are being made here. You know, when we watched the duels, we were talking about it here. I was talking with some folks back behind the scenes, and my first thought was literally when we got into this race was like, this could be one of the best or one of the craziest races you'll see all season long when it comes to how they run and how they play it out. And I'll be honest, I mean, it's kind of been exactly what I thought it would be, which is just some all-out mayhem and some hard runs, but yeah, a little bit of craziness intervened in there, and there's not much else to it. But it still surprisingly has been a solid race and a good run around for a lot of these guys out here. And you know, those that are trying to keep their way in and keep their heads up high, like Jacob Turbin here is trying to find his little route and keep his momentum alive here. Jacob, you got a copy there, buddy?
Yep, I got you.
Yeah, I know it's been kind of a rough race here to start off the season, man, but I mean, you're still keeping your head up high and staying out there. How you been holding up, though?
Well, it's been a mess so far. I'm just trying to finish it at this point, you know. So.
For sure, there. I know the way things have been. This obviously is the first race this season. You've got a lot of high expectations, a lot of stuff going through your mind. But really, was there anything that you have going into the rest of the season that's going to be your main game plan, your main focus here?
Try to get better every week and be competitive. That's my plan. Finish races and race clean. This wasn't a good start, so. But.
I mean, but it is a plate track, though, so I would kind of put it as a little bit of a mulligan, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Well, nevertheless, Turbin, it is great to have you on board here tonight, man. We do appreciate your time talking with us here. I know with the way things have been, it's been kind of a rough one, but it's always a pleasure to have you on the show here, and hopefully everything will be okay at the end, bud.
Yep, thank you.
Absolutely. Jacob Turbin there in the 71 taking time to talk with us here. I know a little bit of the frustration factor has definitely set in for him, unfortunately, and you know, that's just something unfortunate that kind of happens around here. It's one of those things you fight through and you battle through it all, and it's hard not to get mad behind that wheel, but you know, it is one of those things you just kind of got to know and remember in the back of your mind, especially for guys like David Hall here in the 19. And David, you got a copy, my friend?
I do.
Hey, man, right now I know the damage is up on that front end of that machine there, but do you think you have a little bit left in the tank to push it through just for a good top 10?
I hope so. I was just telling my teammates I can see the hood pushed up a little bit, but I'm hoping the aero will be fine in the draft. If it's if I get out in front and by myself, I think that'll hurt me. But I think if I stay in the draft, I think I'll be all right. Hopefully I can get a top 10. I'm going to go for the win. It's Daytona. Go big or go home, I guess.
That's kind of the mindset you got to have around here, man. And right now, the way things are playing out, you never know what happens around here. So, David, we do appreciate you taking time to talk with us here, my friend. And hopefully when all's said and done, this season comes out to be a little bit better than this race has been for you tonight.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Absolutely. From SHM there, David Hall in the number 19 National Guard machine as the drivers are reeling themselves back into the play. He's got a lot of damage up on that machine, but he don't care. He's going to fight it off to the end. The Jack Dowel Motorsports 250 is about to commence the final opening season, final closing moments of the race to open up the season. And like we mentioned before here, unfortunately for a lot of guys, it's just been a matter of survival and trying not to get wrecked out there and have troubles. But unfortunately, the track just keeps eating and tearing them away and finish them on them off. But there's one thing that we have in the old racing mentality is say, never say die. And right now, as they get it right back onto the throttle here, we will have only 17 laps to go. Out of the gate, out of the shot line, here they are working their way through, and look out, here comes Brandon Browning in that 48 Joker Chevrolet, man. You want to talk about a cat that just does not seem to quit? Remember what I just said a minute ago, the never say die attitude? He's literally worked from literally back in 30th spot. Now he's up into the 11th, 10th area. He is just jumping the gun on these guys trying to get up there. He is a madman from Sedan up there moving his way up. And no, I am not talking about a butcher, although right now you would think he's probably butchering this track or how hard he is challenging it in. Those tires have got to be taking a beating out there, but that fuel, maybe a little bit more if you know what I mean. But out of the end of the day right now, there are still plenty of room and plenty of opportunities to make some chances and make some history made here. The question is who will be able to do that, who will be able to hold them off here. Time is running out here, and time is starting to elapse here. With 41 drivers here in the field, we knew it was going to be a chaotic race and a chaotic show, but it's been an absolute pleasure to commentate for this one, and then of course have Nick Ottinger obviously tuning in with us, and Odinger I should say, excuse me, to tune in with us and be able to talk with us as well. And like I said, man, it's an honor to have him back on the show here. I mean, I definitely will have to check out some of his races. I hope you guys do too as well. He didn't have to do this, to be honest with you. He didn't have to come up on the show and have a chit chat with us, but you know what? He did it anyway, and he took a good moment or two and actually taught us quite a few things around here. So again, just show some love to that 25 there in the eNASCAR Coca-Cola Series. I know I sure will be when the time comes. Rounding about here out of turn 4 here. They are still walking and rolling, wheeling and dealing here for that race lead. But it was a 24 Corey Saucier who's got the race lead up after starting in 8th. He's up 7 spots in the race lead. While the U.S. Air Force Afterburner 43 of Ryan Phillips and his Chevrolet right now is just round pounding his way in there and not giving himself any chances to make mistakes. But as I say that, he does have a little bit of an opening given up to the 11 of TJ Roberts, but he corners back in, crossover down the backstretch. This is just absolutely insane to say the least here. That's just incredible racing and battles here from these drivers. Nobody gives an inch and no one has given anything up, to say the least, but it's just been one of those things, man. It's just like, how do you survive the hard, long runs and the hard-fought battles when it comes to these kind of moments, these kind of situations, especially when you only got about under 10, when you got under 15 to go. Eventually, sooner or later, you just got to be thinking to yourself, all right, when's the time to push and when's the time to just get moving? Like what TJ Robertson at 99, Matthew Robinson's doing right now, because now Roberts has taken the race lead away. And the 90, right, going half to below there, Angel Santiago stays out of the way of those drivers there. Good sportsmanship on his end. Dylan, the closer of that in that Smithfield 38 Ford Mustang now moves his chain up, moves his position in. Time is definitely elapsing, and there is not a lot of area left. You can see the laps going down, the intervals kind of changing up, and everything just completely either working well or falling apart. Some have been just falling back way behind there. You see the one driver that's been trying to get back up to that front. That's Brandon Browning there in the 48. He had evolved in the second last caution there. Now all of a sudden, it's like he turned on a switch and put it right up to the front here, and now he's just wanting to take the race lead away. But the only way to do so is to have to survive through a whole list of field of drivers. You got to make your move around. So here we go, folks. Next time by, it'll be final 10 to go. And I guarantee you by then you're going to see some harder runs and some guys really pushing their limits a little bit, maybe more than they probably should. Safety not playing a factor here for them, and they don't really care too much either because all they want to do right now is just try to deliver the goods and take the race win. The closer Dylan Herbato, the 38, ain't playing too out of it yet. Neither is JR Miller in that 78 Chevrolet. JR has been in that game and in that zone all night long, but does he have enough to try to hold steady Eddie and pull it away with these guys? You can see how wobbly, how loose they are in the straights and how they are in the turns. That's because all that push and power of the aerodynamics and the acceleration connected to the track and themselves is what's getting them so wobbly, so loosey-goosey, and just completely derailing their momentum and derailing all their time and ground because it just continues to hurt them. Running back in, though, they've got to have lap traffic. That could be problems. Woo-hoo, that was close. You saw a little bit of that 57 there, way up on the high bank. Clifford Corvier stays. Corview gets out of the way and gets into their territory, but manages to stay stable and not get into the wreck, and good sportsmanship on his end. But man, you just know right now there is not any time or ground to make up here. They have to finish this one out. God, you can just hear all that power, all that momentum that comes through. Wait a minute, the 43 there is all below the yellow line. Brian Phillips goes below the yellow line, gets a little loose out at turn 3. His night is all but over with. He has no time to catch back up to them. He will lose all his ground and play in that one. They are still under green zone. There is nothing left to give other than just a race win. 8 laps remain. Browning starting way back there. He's now in 6th. 10 there, James Jones. He's not out of this one yet, but Matthew Robinson, Corey Saucier are the two that are fighting it out with a little bit of help from Roberts for Saucier and a little bit of help from Miller to Robinson. Eventually, though, you wonder when the big move comes. Roberts drifts up just a little bit, tags the 78 in there as yellow flag comes out, maybe at the best or the worst time for these guys. Caution is out, and there is definitely problems out on the track here. We got major problems there. Brandon Muscella. Well, the motor is completely exposed, and that front end looks completely totaled up there, and I don't know what else to say other than that, so let's head him up down to the PTM Instant Replay and see what went wrong, exactly what happened here. And I can tell you right now, it looks like he got a tag and a half there on his end. Here it is right here. Comes out of turn 3. Just gets loose. Unfortunately gets into Gardner. Gardner gets him, and I couldn't see who else got him there. Muscella's day is over with, though. That is for sure. God, man, so many drivers just getting taken out here tonight, and I know this is a very eventful sport and this is a serious, hard racing, but you know, it does suck just to see a lot of guys or you've been understanding here and just unfortunately getting stuck in the problems and the trouble here. And then Corey Saucier, he's going into pit road. That could be interesting to say the least here. Like he ran a bit out of fuel. The fuel wasn't quite there anymore, and a lot of these guys were pacing themselves in the whole time, and a lot of them were trying to set up for the whole long race, but because of that caution, the motor starts to slow down and kind of get pulled back up, and what that does is it pretty much nullifies the fuel in there and kind of gets the chemicals to simmer down, and once that does, everything you had that was working that's what will pretty much set up this last bit of race here, last bit of finish. will be able to finish this one out and who will be able to come clean in this to the end. That's like the $1 million question right now, but considering that pit stop for a lot of these guys, I just set them back quite a ways here and set them up for a little bit of a problem territory. And Matthew Robinson, you can see what he's doing right now. He's trying to get the car to cool down. He's off the throttle. He's out of the gas completely. He's off the clutch because he's trying to save the fuel. That's what he's doing right now, not letting any of the fuel take in. And that's smart though. That is something he needs to do to keep everything in where he needs to play and where he wants to be at. So, will it help him out though? So now, what happens next? You know, what comes next? Will we see one more big run? Will we see the big change up in that area of play? Will we see a driver finally rise from the ashes and move his way into victory lane after all that he's had to endure and deal with tonight? You see a guy like Dylan Hervaden up 34 spots. The highest a hard charger's ever been, and if he can find a way to win this, it will be the fastest any driver has ever come from the outhouse to the White House. He's done it before, he can do it again. James Jones, a relative newbie on the show, but now he has really been making his presence felt and showing the boys how it's done out here. Or maybe like a guy like J.R. Miller, who's just been consistent all night long and has just been in that hunt, but has yet to come to the victory lane circle. Or TJ Roberts, even another guy that has just been pure consistency as well, but staying up, starting from the back and making it up to the front. And then Matthew Robinson, I guess you could say, he's kind of the intermediate guy. He started in a pretty good spot and he's just kind of been playing the race out the entire time. There are so many stories at stake and so much going down. As the green flag flies, lights come on, we are finishing this one out. Only 4 laps remain. Who has it all? Who will take this one to the end and come away with the victory? Out of turn 2, it looks like early on Robinson has got a pretty good center piece to the bottom. Doesn't seem to need to worry about being affected too much there. James Jones, though, is trying everything he can to give a push to Roberts and try to move him up a little bit more. Time is running out. Time is starting to go away for these drivers. They know it, and it's happening right in front of their eyes. Doing everything they can. Dylan Hervaden now has moved his way up on the outside line despite the little internet troubles he's having right now. He is now in position to deliver maybe the biggest full throttle assault we've ever seen on the show. He's up 35 spots. He's in 4th at the moment. J.R. Miller currently in 2nd. He was up 2 spots where he started. Robinson up 9. He started in 10th. Christian Roos right now in that back. He's up 13 as well here. He's starting to think he has a chance here. Christopher Double L Lawrence is in that hunt now as well as he builds it back up by there once more. These guys just flying into it. Hard as can be. Full throttle accentuated down. We are down with 2 to go. Green flag flies high. They know what's coming next. This next time by. The intensity is there. And there is so much at stake. They know what they want to do. They know what they've got to do just to get there. But do they have time and do they have the consistency to push through? Hervaden right now, I got to believe, is just laying off just a hint to not overdo the fuel and not overdo that engine. There's a car down on the backstretch, completely come to a stop. Caution will not come out though. They are not going to call it now. It looks like with 1 to go, here we go, coming down out of turn turn 4. Now, will this be the moment? You want to make a statement, you want to make a run, you better figure it out now. The white flag is out. Oh, and just like that, Saucier into the infield. A little bit of problems there for him. Gets back put there once more there. David Hall in the 19 has a little bit of troubles. There's a little bit of a problem there for TJ Roberts. He sets it up into the turn 2. Big problems there. James Jones is in there, crashed up. They're crashing in the backstretch now as they're trying to push through one more time. On the outside, a 3-1 start for the lead here, coming out of turn 3. Dylan Hervatten is up on the high banks. 4 wide out of turn 4. No! They hold it clear, stabilize it there. Matthew Robinson's got himself a full run to the end, coming to the line. Lawrence tries to get to the outside line. It's not enough. Matthew Robinson takes it home. What a finish. Unbelievable. Right there, ladies and gentlemen, is why you finish a race. That is why you always don't quit and don't give out. Man, oh man, oh man. Oh, I gotta believe right now he is a happy camper in that one. Ladies and gentlemen, Matthew Robinson, the season opener winner and the winner at Daytona, the Jack Dowel Motorsports 250 is his. You know, there's always that thing in racing and any time in sports, all that hard work and dedication is put forth. I don't think anybody can deny Robinson deserved every bit of credit, every ounce of run he thought for here tonight. And if that's not a confidence booster for him, I don't know what is. He's got to be stoked in that thing right now. Holy smokes. Well, we're going to take it down and talk with our third place and second and first as well in just a moment. But, folks, we got to get real quick to the final results here tonight. The Jack Dowel Motorsports coming up in the win. Robinson takes it home. Lawrence goes second. Third goes to Miller. Fourth to Gruce. Fifth to Daniel. Sixth to Hervatten. Seventh to R. Auto. Eighth to Jones. Ninth to Noah Owens. 10th to Hupka. 11th to Saucier. 12th to Gardner, 13th to Barnes second, 14th to Bualda third, 15th to Kyle Spees, 16th to James Jones, 17th to TJ Roberts, 18th to Bryce Colbert, 19th to Brian Phillips, 20th to David Hall, 21st to Zach Woods, 22 to Clifford Corvier, 23rd to James Santoyo, 24th to Joey Wright, 25th to John S. Bualda Jr., 26th to Angel Santiago, 27th to Jeanette, 28th to Richmond, 29th to Turvin, 30th to Papa, 32nd to Brandon Browning, 33rd to Mascara, 34th to Stencil, 35th to Robinson, 36th to Nelson, 37th to Sizemore, 38th to Vuger, 39th to Birchfield, 40th to White, and Hallahan finishing 41st, and I think that's the longest I've ever had to figure out who's where and who's who in a results end, but all worth in the end here for these drivers and you fans at home. That's what it's all about around here, guys. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do it without you, so let's go ahead, close the night off now. Let's take it down to Victory Lane and chit chat with our boys here real quick. Let's have a word here with our third place finisher, who now joins us on in here tonight. J.R. Miller takes it third here. Congratulations, man. And I was kind of wondering if you were going to try and sneak by him on that bottom line, but looks like you backed off at the last minute. We're just trying to make sure you didn't do anything crazy there at the end.
Well, no, I had her as far down as I could get it. I pulled out in the backstretch, and I was hoping 9 was going to go with me, and I seen him kind of pull out and then duck right back down, and we took it 3 wide in the turn 3, and I'm like, well, it's and see how this plays. And there was a little bit of room coming out of four to duck back down and pulled a little bit of the draft and, got beside him, but just quite didn't get him. But, overall good race. Congratulations to Matt. So, and in second place also.
For sure there. I mean, you can't sell yourself short, though. You still had yourself a third-place finish. We talked about it going in. Like, you knew right away you were going to go for broke. You were going to go all out for it. But I don't think I would have expected, the way you finished out there to get that third-place finish being so tough. That was definitely something for you there, man.
No, it was. I mean, we had to work our way back from that accident. Put us all the way back to like 19th, I think, and then it was just bide the time and try to stay out of the accidents, and we got back up there, I think, in top 4 or 5 there towards the end, and then it was just stick with whoever's in front of you till the last minute, and that's what I tried to do.
Yeah, did indeed, man. Just to get a third-place finish here, so I gotta ask you, man, who do you want to thank you for this one?
I want to thank all the sponsors on my car, just friends of mine, Cart Chassis out of North Carolina, MGM. I got Smith's Auto Sales. I got Unimpaired and Main Street Pub and Grub on the back. And I've got Folds of Honor and then Premier Dent Repair.
I think you done them all proud here tonight, man. Did everything you had to and did everything you had to get to go through. You have got yourself a third-place finish here tonight in the season opener. Congratulations for that here on the Jack Dowel Motorsports 250, bud.
Thanks a lot. I just want to thank my teammates David Hall and Jordan Stencil, too. So we'll see all you guys next week.
Absolutely, man. We'll see you next week. Ladies and gentlemen, third-place finisher here tonight, J.R. Miller in that 78. As we now take it down to our second-place finisher here tonight. This is Christopher Double L Lawrence, who now joins me here in the booth. And Lawrence, oh, man, that could have gone either way, man. It could have gone either way. That's all I could say.
Yeah, we had some great competitors up there at the end. Matthew Robinson just was a little too much for us tonight.
He was, but I mean, at the end of the day, like you said, it's just one of those things that you had to work for and you had to fight for, and you couldn't quite get the strong finish and end there. But you were still, nonetheless, you were still pulling through and pushing everything you got there. So I mean, that definitely takes a lot of courage and all that to even make that big move when the time came. But how did you feel going in throughout this one?
Yeah, I appreciate that. At the end there, we were trying to get a little help on the top there, but we didn't really have too much. So that slowed us down and stopped us from getting that pole or that number 1 spot there. But at the end, we were trying to all stay clean, and I did wanted to show Matthew respect and push him to the front there, but tried to pull out there at the end and just couldn't get any help and couldn't get a good run.
Nah, but still at the end of the day, like you just said, you gave it all you had and pushed it through, and worked out well for you here at the end. So I'm gonna ask you, man, your season opener, Jack Dowel Motorsports 250, strong way to go about it. Who do you want to thank you for this?
Yeah, first and foremost, I want to thank all the guys, all the drivers tonight that came out. Thank you guys. It was couldn't do it without you. Thank you for putting on the broadcast at PTM. Great as always. And a huge shout out to Jack Dowel Motorsports for helping putting this on tonight. The Jack Dowel 250 was a big success. On our end. I want to thank Splash and Go Graphics and Sim Speed Shop for helping us out putting on some of the season. Proto Sim Tech and Sim Shots as well. They've been a huge help. We got a long season, so you'll be hearing about them. They offer some great products. Check them out.
For sure there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, your second place finisher here tonight, Christopher L. Lawrence, puts it up almost in the victory lane, but I guarantee we'll see him sooner or later in there. Congratulations again here, man.
Oh, thank you.
Christopher Double L. Lawrence, the number 9, your second place finisher here tonight. And now, I think we're going to have ourselves a very, very happy man in just a minute. Let's bring him in. For JKR Motorsports, you're a race winner of the Jack Dowel Motorsports 250. This is Matthew Robinson at 99. And Matthew, holy cow almighty, you had a whole lot of stuff go down, to put it nicely. You managed just to clear this one out and take this one to the end and the full circle. You take it to victory lane. Just tell me exactly how this feels, man.
Man, I'm telling you, that last restart, I knew I was gonna get nervous, but once it got down to about 2 to go, my heart was beating out of my chest, man. it was nerve wracking, but I couldn't thank JR enough, man. He stuck with me on the outside, but right there before that caution, and then I seen him lined up right behind me coming for that restart. I knew he was gonna stick with me as long as he could. I mean, I know I don't know him, but I knew how people are in these restrictor plate races. They want to stick with the pusher, especially if you're trying to make ground on the outside. But and he made a move, and last lap, that's racing. And then the 9 came down, and I sort of blocked him, come back to the checkered, and man, I had to go grab me a natural delight after that one.
Well, I mean, it was probably the best time to get it of all things after the race, and you had it going here. And I would have to say this is gonna boost that confidence level up quite a bit for you going into this next race. What's gonna be the game plan there and the strategy? You gonna try to work off the success you had here and ride off that wave, or you think you're gonna try to just kind of clear the mind and just go back to square one after this one?
Yeah, man. Any kind of win really is motivation to keep progressing and keep getting better. But I really think I'll shine good in these, especially these mile and a halves and these tracks under a mile. That's where I'm more of a better racer at. These restrictor plates are pretty fun, but hopefully we can have a good season with JKR Motorsports and Jeremy Richmond. I appreciate him getting me on his team. DJ Daniel, he was in the race. I think he got a top 5, so it was a good showing for the team. Had a little missteps through the race, but I brought her home first for the team, so that's good.
For sure there. Will Robinson, is there any final words you have to say to the camera and your friends and family out here before we cut everything off tonight?
Well, I got a buddy at work. I've been working. He has to go to surgery next week, and I'm I'm gonna have to take his spot. I was telling him about it tonight. I don't know if he's watching or not, but I just want to shout out to Jit. Good luck with your surgery.
I think he'll be doing a little bit better knowing you got yourself a trip to victory lane and taking everything in stride, man. Congratulations here on that victory, and we can't wait to see you all next week out there, bud.
Yes, sir. Thanks to PTM TV, man. Y'all do great.
I appreciate it, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, from JKR Motorsports here, your race winner of the Jack Dowel Motorsports. This is Matthew Robinson, the number 99, as we close out the show and close everything down. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a night full of surprises and a night full of great entertainment and all that, and it's hard to believe we have come to this conclusion and come to the end, but make no bones about it, folks. This is it. We are done for the night. We are getting set up for tomorrow's doubleheader. It sounds like we will have 2 races in the bag ready to go for you from East Coast Racing Circuit and Flyby, so you can't miss all that here up on the show. But of course, real quick, this race here, the Jack Dowel Motorsports 250, wouldn't be able to be presented without a little help from Jack Dowel Motorsports themselves. Grid Finder, AJ's Hotspot, Central Illinois Spice Company, SimSpeedShop.com, Splash and Go Graphics, Blackgate Security Agency, Sim Shots, and of course the ButtKicker for everything they've done to help out, get everything situated through, and get things taken care of here. If it weren't for them, they wouldn't even be able to have this show on the road. So from BackFire Sim Racing, we'd like them to say thank you very much for that. And again, to all of us here at PTM Racing TV, thank you again to BackFire for allowing us to come on out and show these races. We love you guys for everything you've brought to help support the channel here and everything that's come to be. Without you guys, well, we wouldn't even be in this business to begin with. So it's an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to call these action, call those races with you. For now, though, we're going to call it quits, call it a night. So from all of us here at PTM Racing TV, thank you again for tuning on in, and we hope to see you next time when the green flag flies right here on PTM Racing TV. Be safe. God bless. Take care. We love you guys. Good night, everybody.